Football fans, it's your boy Lolo. Oh wait, oh no, I'm not Lolo. I'm Tom Lo. No, wait, that didn't work. Didn't work. Hello, how you doing? You all might be like, who the hell are you? Why are you in charge of shit? I'm not in charge of shit. I have my own director that is in charge of the stuff. I probably shouldn't have said the four-letter word. How you doing, Scooby? How you doing, Director John?
I'm good. I'm waiting for you to cheers. Come on. You have a beer?
Oh, we can pretend.
Don't worry about it. Cheers.
Actually,
have a good
thing. Cheers.
Lolo will be here shortly. Lolo will be here shortly.
Yeah, I've not actually usurped his show, but I mean, I kind of have, but still, I can't because he's got the password and stuff. It'd be in, I'd be out within 10 seconds. Who have we got? Who have we got in the chat? I mean, I know because I can see it, but it's a more polite way of being like, Director John, please throw some names up and all that. I mean, again, I could look for it, but why should I? God. Yeah, do what John Garside did or said. But yeah, Director John's here. Was he one of the first ones? Of course. Wait, where's Anders? What's going on? What's going on with Anders? Oh, there he is. It's all right. I was worried a bit. Oh, don't worry. We'll get onto that. But obviously, shit happens. Low, late as usual. Late. Is he still actually in makeup, or is that a Scooby? Do they call that the super sub thing? Because I kind of know where he did that, if that's the case. Excuse me. But Director John, do we have anyone in the back? It's a lie. I totally know who we've got in the back. Oh, look who it is. Hello, young man.
Hello there. How are we doing? Well, I'm not going to say how we're doing because I know we're all doing pretty bad tonight after that. But hey, it is what it is.
All right, so obviously, Stevie Wonder could take a feel of what's going on today, and they'll go, I think you got a football result you weren't happy with. But is there a cloud in this? Is there a silver lining to any of this, David? Please convince me everything's going to be all right.
Everything's going to be all right, Tom. Believe me. Okay. It feels like we lost 2 points, and we did.
It does feel like that.
So I can't say that we didn't. However,
through a grasp.
We've had a week of football. We've played 3 times. We've played against 2 sides that will be up or around near the top. Oh, look at that. All the balloons went up then, I think, because of my fingers.
They were obviously prepared for a case of
Indeed they were. And we've come away with a couple of draws against top sides and a win. It should have been 7 points. We've ended up with 5. I'm not going to cry in my beer. It is what it is. It was a horrendous mistake. I don't know if the ball spun and just caught him, I don't know, off a little bit. Some people have said maybe he was still suffering from a bit of concussion. That'd be a very easy get out. I don't think that's actually the case.
Should we let Lolo in? I see him in the background.
No, leave him there. We're talking about Leeds at the moment.
Exactly how I feel.
About the best team in the world.
Yeah, maybe we should bring him in. What do you reckon,
Are
Tom?
you ready there, Lolo?
Should we bring Lolo into his own show?
Yeah, maybe.
I say no. So
get Lolo to ask the Magic 8 Ball if we should.
Yo, what's up, fellas? Sorry about that. You guys know, for those of you who have been backstage before a show, that my internet needs a good 5 minutes or so to stop cutting in and out, and now it looks to be a steady orange light there. So I'm here. What's up, fellas? Thank you guys for taking over the beginning of the show. I thought Mark was going to kick
You see,
So-
that's that internet that he's talking about.
That world famous internet. Right, so we heard up to you thought Mark was going to kick off the show, and then your internet just went, "Nah, we don't want you to finish that sentence."
Anyway, as I was saying, we shouldn't be too despondent, because what that shows is that no side is going to dominate us in a game. We're going to out dominate them. We're going to create more chances. Our defending is still very, very good, which means we're going to win games, which means over the next 8 to 10 games, I fully expect us to be in the top 2, if not at the top.
The biggest thing about it that upset me more than anything, other than my own selfishness of wanting my football team to win, was that Junior Firpo was not only robbed of his big crowning moment, but it's because it touched him. I mean, he obviously isn't the reason that it happened. I get that. And I'm never remotely going to blame him. But it's just sad for him that it goes down as he actually got the own goal.
Yeah. And what a goal he scored.
It was
Terrific.
a lovely finish. It was lovely.
Yeah.
I mean, he's the best left-footed player I've ever seen. I'm probably exaggerating, but still.
Maybe a little bit. Ramazani fought to get the ball and everything really well. I think it then went to Firpo, didn't he? Who knocked it out to Nonto, and then
because Nonto got 2
he
assists.
just delayed a little bit. Firpo went, stopped, made the space. Nonto just slid it in beautifully, and he just literally passed the ball into the corner of the net. It's a terrific goal. Probably does him good when he's playing for his national side, that he plays more as a forward position.
He was only actually up front for about 10 minutes for them, though, because obviously it was a big shock to us when I was reading the thing where it's like, oh, he started up front for them today. It doesn't actually, what it didn't tell you at the time was that he was up front for 10 minutes because they got a player sent off. So he immediately went back into defence. They won, to be fair.
Yeah.
He's the greatest player in the history of the Dominican Republic, to be fair to him, which
Without
is obviously that's prestigious.
It is in Dominica and the Dominican Republic, in that island there.
He's never had to buy a beer there, I heard.
I shouldn't think so.
I don't know. Especially senior Firpo. Just a king of the island.
I understand he was mightily hacked off at the final whistle. But well, it is one of those things, isn't it? I mean, this is always a problem when a goalkeeper makes a mistake. It can be so costly. Where, I mean, you could look at all the players on the field; they all made mistakes at one time or another. You know, loose passes, things like that. But it doesn't end up in a goal conceded, and that's the unfortunate thing for Meslier.
Yeah, but
it is what it
who the
is.
fuck what's the CD as when you got Firpo? Pardon my language, everyone. Sorry, I just see anti-Firpo stuff, and I'm in there like a fucking dog. Sorry.
Yeah, that's a Dominican who plays for Switzerland. So what's all that about? He should be playing for his country.
He didn't want to be overshadowed by Junior Firpo, clearly.
Indeed.
Clearly. But no.
Oh, who's back?
Lolo.
Can't hear you. You're muted.
Is your audio? I thought it was fucking with us.
And I'm back. Fuck. Oh, what a day. What a day. I'm glad I caught the Leeds United match. And then I'm also upset that I caught the Leeds United match. And I nearly turned it off at 96 minutes. And maybe I should have. And maybe it was all my fault. Maybe Meslier. I knew Meslier, once it went in, he was looking for some sort of foul, some sort of flag. And he was like, it's that dude in Brooklyn's fault who's still watching. He should have turned us off and I would have been fine. But I had this pressure on because last week we played that video singing his praises. Remember that? And you guys were like, oh, man, I long for the days of loving Meslier. And then he goes and does something like that. God, what a moment. What a horrible moment. And he
He had a
was
good
just
game
looking
yesterday.
around like, this can't be, and then they show the replay and everybody's like, yeah, I don't know who you're looking for offside or what. Like, I don't know what you're, I don't know. That, oh, what
apparently,
a horrible.
apparently, Strauch has said to Farker, this is what I've heard after the game, that it actually took a real strange bounce off the turf, and I can only imagine maybe it's because the ball was spinning after it had hit Firpo's head. But even so, get your body behind it. You know.
It's just really
Yeah,
sad.
It is
I mean,
what
you
it
could
is.
tell it was like a mishit cross. It wasn't a shot or anything.
no,
It was a
it's nothing.
mishit sort of like wow.
John.
So yeah, I can understand the ball was spinning in a weird way.
Yeah.
John, can we address this comment from John? Because to quote John accurately, the snail-eating twat was even laughing with their manager afterwards. For fuck's sake, John, have you never been in a situation where you did something so horrendous you want the earth to like open up a hole in the ground and you hope it takes you into it and you never get seen again, but in reality you actually just end up smiling and laughing because you hope that if you laugh it'll go away? I believe that was Melier tonight. I don't
Because
think he's sitting there laughing.
it was
going
it was
to
so
the manager.
unbelievable. Yeah. It
I
was
think
so
he's going to him,
unbelievable. It's so
"See my bank
incredulous,
account
wasn't it?
tomorrow morning." Yeah. I mean, it
Also-
reminds me. Sorry, it reminds me of a time. Look, the time what I wanted the ground to open up.
Should we
what
go
happened?
there, Tom? Are you going to tell us about the time? Should we actually go there?
No. It's a genuine story. It's real.
Okay.
I have no idea what that means, but hello. In all seriously happened. Everyone knows that I may or may not be a bookie. I'm a bookie. Anyway, and a guy came up to my counter and he was like, "Can you give me the odds on the golf, mate?" And I went on my keypad. We had the old style with the keypads and the screens and all that. Went bish bosh bosh, put it up on the thing. I was like, "Yeah, it's up there, mate." And he went, "Yeah, can you tell me the odds?" I was like, "Yeah, it's up there, mate." And he said it for a third time, and I thought, "You motherfucker, just use your fucking." Then he put his white stick on the counter, and I was like, "Oh, yeah." I was like, "Oh," I was about to start getting real heated, and I was like, "This motherfucker's blind, isn't he?" He's got enough problems without me not telling him the.
At least he couldn't see your embarrassment.
Yeah, but again, at the point in that moment, I wanted the floor to open up, and I always tell that story like in a like, oh, it's probably quite funny, but to actually live it, it was fucking horrifying. The second-hand shame.
Apparently,
it's the real thing that happened.
The coach as well is a former coach of his. Apparently,
like he knows him. He would have had that conversation with him after the game, regardless. Just instead of it being about how you been, blah blah blah, it's been what the fuck happened.
Yeah.
Thank you for doing that for me.
Yeah, and he's just laughed and gone, "I don't know what's fucking happened there." But it is what it is.
But people, like, there are leads, not channels, there are leads like pages on like social media that are posting this photograph of him smiling, then going, "Oh, I think he won a bet on the game or whatever." And it's like, yeah, I know that's a bit of jest, but the problem is when you post something like that, it's really fucking irresponsible because there are people who will see that and actually take what you're joking about as fact.
Well, the trouble is they'll listen to that shit and then they'll be putting stuff on the social media, on his social media, threatening and shit like that, and that's where it all gets a little bit out of hand.
How dare you bet against our great club? You've embarrassed us as I'm
like he's actually done it.
What happened?
Yeah.
But the fact of the matter is, I don't think he's corrupt or anything. I just think he's really fucking unlucky and a shit Leeds United goalkeeper who actually was a good goalkeeper tonight. In fairness, I thought his performance tonight was really solid.
Very good.
He was good.
Yeah, and apart from the penalty against Norwich, which he seemed to jump out, he moved after the ball was kicked, which is never a good thing. You can never react quick enough. But he played well against Norwich as well. So he's actually, on the last couple of games, I thought he's played very well. But then that happens, and it just suddenly it's just like everybody's got the cannons out, and they're they're just blowing the shit out of him. But hey,
Thomas, I like these new formats. You go on Gary's show, you don't talk about Arsenal. You come on this show, Lolo doesn't say a word. It's the best.
Well, I'm just showing some respect to the guy who was here on time and who started off the show. And I was listening, didn't quite have the same sort of enthusiasm that I bring to the first few minutes of the show. But it was Tom doing his thing. And I was like, where the hell is Mark? Mark, who told me he was going to be there to come.
Oh, I'm back
I'm just
up again,
giving you,
am I?
like,
Oh.
I'm dying right now. I'm dying right now to compare him to one of the world's best keepers, quote unquote, Donnarumma, who had a free kick dribble in past like 12 players and just threw his arms and went straight in for a free kick in the Champions League against what team? The mighty Arsenal. Yes. So we can move on to talk about that, John, if that's what you're requesting. John, if that's what you want.
You are a sneaky thing, you are.
I was quiet until John said it.
Yeah.
So I'm just saying.
I mean,
my internet red cards me every few minutes anyway. So,
I mean, I think I'm within my rights to say that Mezzier has been a shit goalkeeper for Leeds in the last couple of years, but tonight he was largely solid until the final 8 seconds of the contest.
There you go.
Unfortunately, at elite level football, not that I'm saying that we're at elite level football, but you need to at least mimic the performance of elite football to then get into the Premier League. You can't afford to only be good for 97 minutes and 52 seconds of a 98-minute contest. You need to be good for all 98 minutes. Full concentration, full... Because you only drop your guard one time and you see what happens.
Yeah.
So, fellas, I was having this thought while I was watching the match because you guys always say the championship is one of the hardest leagues to get out of, especially if you don't do it the season after you go down. And so I was trying to think of like, why is that? Why is that? Why is that? And then I'm watching Leeds United and I realized the season that you go down or the season after you go down, you're still a Premier League team. You're a Premier League team playing against championship teams.
Yeah.
The next season, you're half and half. The
3rd
season, you are now a good championship side. And so now your hopes this season, if you go up, now you're going up not as a yo-yo Premier League club, but now you're going up as a good championship side who has a big chance of getting relegated again. Does that make sense to you guys? Because that's kind of what I was seeing is you guys are no longer. I don't recognize the team. I don't recognize half the players that are on there.
In year three as a championship, what they call the parachute payment clubs, because you then get the least amount of money of the relegated teams. To my understanding, in a worst case scenario next year, if we don't go up, we'll be down there with 6 teams that have been relegated from the Premier League since we got relegated. I mean, that's probably not actually going to be the case because you'll get, of the teams that went up last year, one of them probably will at least come down. But then that's still 4 teams.
Down, won't they?
They might all come down. But the reality is that the longer it takes you to get out of the championship, you ain't getting out of the championship. And I know that sounds really obvious as a sentence, but just symbolically, because it never gets easier to get out of the championship the longer you're in it. I mean, it actually shows the achievement of the Bielsa championship team that he took back. It genuinely bang average championship, journeyman championship players and outperformed the likes of Stoke, who at the time, people forget this, when Stoke got relegated and we played them in Bielsa's first game, they were supposed to win the championship because they'd kept largely their championship team. Their goalkeeper was playing for England at the time.
Yeah.
And we fucking wiped the floor with them. To the point, we essentially beat the confidence out of Stoke for the entire season in one game. I might be exaggerating there.
That's where what Ipswich did last year was so good in getting promoted. I mean, that was a real
Genuinely impressive.
Very.
I hate that it happened.
Because that used to happen. That used to happen years and years ago when it was all more of a level playing field. A team, I think Watford did the same sort of thing. They went from third division up to the old first division as it was. Swansea did it, and there was a few sides that did it. Carlisle did it. I think Oldham did it. There was quite a few sides that used to do that because they would have the momentum of getting promoted. But nowadays it just doesn't because the money is a big factor. I mean, if you look at the sides that if they came down that are up there this year, the Leicester, Southampton, maybe not because they're not playing so well, but Ipswich or Leicester, if they got relegated next season, they're going to be hell of a force because they are Premiership sides.
Well, you say that. My only disagreement with Leicester is I imagine if Leicester get relegated, the EFL Championship are going to be waiting underneath them like a fucking shark.
Perhaps,
waiting for its lunch.
Yeah.
But your actual statement on Leicester's quality of their squad is 100% correct. Just the only thing is the EFL are going to be like, right, what can we do with this lot? Because they made us look like right fucking fools last September.
Yeah.
I think they're just going to punish.
Yeah, Bremner's Ghost has got a good point. It's not the first time that we've had Leeds keepers that have made big balls up. Gary Sprake, a lot of you wouldn't remember him. I do because I'm that old. I mean, he punched the ball into the net from a corner once. It was classic. It was on Match of the Day as well. And Kiko Casilla he always had a mistake in him. But then sometimes he could do a good save. He was an average keeper at best, it has to be said.
I'm going to say what I think. I think a lot of people were expecting me to come on and be a lot angrier, but the fact of the matter is, what good actually comes of coming on here and shouting at the goalkeeper?
It doesn't. And you see another good point. We've literally lost our midfield last week or this week during these games. So we've lost our captain, best midfielder, Gruev, who has been outstanding this season. So we've lost the two main midfielders, central midfielders, and we've had Rothwell come in and Tanaka. They did a good job being thrown in the deep end at Norwich. And then tonight, I thought they were really good. Rothwell especially, I thought he bossed the game. He was making the game tick over. He was dictating the play, which way we were going. He was breaking the lines with his passes. So going forward, I say it's a shame that we lost the 2 points tonight, but going forward, I'm quite confident that we're not going to come up against teams who are going to dominate us and roll us over. So, look on the positive sides.
Yeah. I think my whole reaction to this match would be it's disheartening. It sucks. It fucking blows. It's all these other ways of saying it. But in the end, if you're going to draw to Sunderland and listen, you're away at Sunderland, you should be beating the shit out of them. But once again, it's a championship team. You are their big game, right? Like you say, Leeds United is everybody's cup final, right?
Yeah.
So they're going to come at you with their best. They came out, they got an early goal, and you guys from that point on, you could have collapsed, but you started to dominate the game and you got two very nice goals, very nicely worked goals, and you sort of shut down the game and you were easing down to a 2-1 win, knowing that you had gotten punched in the mouth early, so you weren't going to be like, oh, now let's go get 5. It was more like, fuck, okay. Time
Right,
Sunderland
so-
had the ball, they looked like they didn't know what to do with it. They started tripping over their own boots because you guys were pressing them and getting the ball. So
When he
Man,
gets too,
Not-
when he
not-
gets too excited over things, isn't it?
who, me?
when the momentum's going, your internet goes, right, we're going to slow that down right now.
Yeah.
Shit. And I've actually
Refuse
wow.
to hit the light this time. It's
Uh,
all right.
Nick,
Hit the thumbs down because it's all the same.
yeah, as long as you hit some button, hit the
Yeah.
share,
Mr.
dislike,
Mr.
I hate
Fadley.
this, whatever.
What have you got? What have you got against us to not hit the light
But-
for Lolo?
Let me just finish here while I have a little bit of internet, and then I'll
Yeah.
throw a quarterback into it. But to drop points that way on such a clear, like, you catch the ball, game over. You catch the ball, whistle blown, game over, 3 points. It's such a weird fluke mistake. It's not something he does all the time. It's so weird and fluky that you just kind of got to go, look, we won that game. We're not getting the 3 points, but we did win that game. I'm happy with the way my team performed and persevered after getting punched in the mouth that early on by what was Sunderland's best play of the game. Play the rest of the time because you guys had them. So
Yeah.
I hope all of that came through. All I'm saying is there's sometimes where 2 points, giving up a goal at the end of a game like that to draw always feels like points lost. However, a lot of this team needs to have the mindset that they won that game and move from there.
I just
Know
want
what I
to,
mean?
yeah. Can we just reply to Scooby's
Yep.
what he said about Sunderland not being a bad side? They weren't a bad side. I mean, their movement and everything when they come forward and they break, their movement is really, really good, and it's hard to pick up. And sometimes I wish we moved like they did, but that lasted for about 10 minutes. They got the goal.
Yeah.
And then after that goal, as you say, it was pretty much closed down for the rest of the first half. We should have come in that first half 2 or 3-1 up.
They did what Norwich did. They did what Norwich
The
did.
chances,
They did what
that was
Burnley
crazy.
Did. They did what Burnley did at Ellen Road. Every team goes 1-0 up on Leeds, knows all we've got to do is limit Leeds to shots from outside the box and let them try and walk the ball into the net. And usually that results in a 1-0 win.
Not anymore. Not anymore. It maybe did before, Tom. And that's my point, is that every game we're getting better, The Burnley game, we kept on banging at the door and it didn't come. But since then, I feel confident, even if we go a goal down, I feel confident we're going to get back into the game and we may win the game, It gets better and better. So what I would like to say is that what Tom and I were chatting about before the show, we couldn't believe that Sunderland were down by 1 goal. They weren't out of it. And on the 80 minutes, their fans are leaving the stadium. Yep. What is that about?
Socials,
unbelievable.
I see Sunderland fans like
their biggest game of the season,
Facebook and all that, giving it, oh, we're top of the league, top of the league. It's like, well, why didn't you tell what you should have said something to the people that were on camera leaving the stadium at 2-1 down? It wasn't like you. Don't get me wrong. I do think we were worth our victory, but they were by no means playing to a standard where the fans should leave like disgruntled and entitled pricks that they clearly are.
Yeah.
Fuck them. Fuck them. I'd say the same if Leeds fans were leaving when top of the league. I'd say the same thing. But we didn't, because we're not top of the league and they are, and they're the ones that left. So fuck them.
Yeah. Anyway,
I get what's coming to them for it.
It is what it is. Our next game is after the international break, isn't it? Sheffield United, and that's a home game. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Another international break.
I'd love to get into this whole conspiracy, Tom. Why are Leeds playing Sheffield United on a Friday night when we have probably, I don't know the facts of it, but we probably have the most international players? I suspect Sheffield United have a few. And it's like, our players are coming back from Asia or whatever. And it's like, how are you supposed to perform at tip-top at the championship? Stuff
Yeah,
like that.
but the answer to that is don't buy Asian players. You know,
But-
I mean, it's true. It is what it is. It is what it is. You know, if you want to be the best side, you're going to have the best players, and they're going to be internationals, and they're going to go away. It's shit. But hey, and the one thing is, this time we've got so many that are injured, they're not going to be going away on international duty. So,
well, I mean,
we may well have a couple of players back
Leeds.
for that.
So I'm sorry, I'm offering Olive Branch to my boy John because I know he's a conspiracy nut with Leeds as well. So, but no, seriously, it's irritating because I don't think it puts us in a friendly position, let's just say, with the internationals coming back. And it's like people are like, why were we so off it against Burnley? It's like we're the first game after the national break when the players that we'd bought generally had even not had training sessions, things like this. Now, that's not Burnley's fault.
But Burnley weren't good. Burnley weren't.
No, they weren't.
Side.
No, they weren't.
They were very average on that
I
game.
get they had the same less time to prepare as us as well. Like, I get that.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I don't know. I just think, in my mind, I would have basically put like Plymouth versus Luton on that particular Friday. So then Leeds or Sheffield United can play on the Sunday or whatever. Just because it suits me, obviously. Because they should actually do the fixture list. I want the fixture list done, clearly.
Yeah, well, this is always the way, in it, when you're a top club, the TV is always going to say, right, we want that game.
Yeah, but why can't they want that game at 12:30 on a Saturday morning or whatever? I mean, not like Leeds and Sheffield United fans would have to travel far.
The good thing is that I managed to see it yesterday. Tomorrow I wouldn't have seen it, so hey.
You see, Tom, the people that control the scheduling are actually all lizards, and the lizard people, they work together with the lizard people that
thank God he stopped.
Is my internet broken?
Oh,
my internet.
Talking about lizards. Here we go.
Welcome.
Yeah.
Big beardy
what's
Mark.
What's going on, Mark? With your
Mark Van Winkle over here. Fell asleep, woke up with a beard.
I slept for 100 years. It's my schedule has been just absolutely bonkers, and I fell asleep just after the Leeds match, which was. Maybe it was just so exciting that it just zapped every bit of energy out of me. I was completely just exhausted by the time that Melier lacked any sort of concentration and let that ball slip through. I hate to say it, boys, but that had the look of someone that doesn't want to be there. I know we've already hashed this over for probably quite a while, but no. That's a lack of concentration. That just, I don't know. That looked funny. That should have gone. That should,
his face.
Should have been a save. He did.
You still want him at Wolves?
Squad. Oh, hey, say again.
You still want him at Wolves?
I would have certainly taken him before Jose Sa, but I'm not terribly upset with Sam Johnstone. I don't think that he's that bad of a keeper. I would like something a little better. I would like a little more quality between the sticks, but that's not. There's a lot of things.
I would have loved Sam Johnson at Ellen Road this year. I would have
Sam
loved to win
Johnson
there.
makes some really nifty saves.
He's a good keeper.
He passes very, very well, which is something that Sa cannot do. Sa passes the ball, it goes directly to the opposition or out of bounds. And I think Sa's a bit of a lazy keeper, but something is not right with Melier to miss that sort of save.
Was it
I've got my
concussion?
conspiracy hat again. I've got an actual conspiracy hat, and some are going to say, no, wait, isn't that the Leeds version of the Stoop hat? It could be two hats. It could be two things. Two things can both be true at the same
the
time.
Conspiracy hats of Bartholomew Cubbins.
Conspiracy hat, all right? Thank you, gentlemen. Basically, my Sam Johnson conspiracy is that he is a terrible goalkeeper, except when he plays Leeds United while playing for Crystal Palace in the Premier League. Because that game where Leeds were winning 1-0 and then he turned into literally the best goalkeeper you would ever see. He was keeping out everything from Leeds on that Sunday afternoon. And then and then obviously they scored just before half time. And then our season just fell like a deck of cards. And basically, conspiracy hat is another. I'm playing against Leeds. Let's ring the become the best player in the world bell, like Sunderland had for the first 10 minutes of this game. Because fuck them, fuck him, fuck everyone. Maybe not David, because he's Leeds and he's got all the. Yeah. I'm done. I'm sorry, everyone. I'm sorry that I didn't do it sooner. Anyway, sorry. What?
There you go. I'm glad you actually got mad about it. You should be mad.
Anyway,
yeah,
Mark.
You're right. I totally should be mad. I mean, Mark can't do anything about that. It's not his fault that Sam Johnson's a cheating fuck.
Yeah.
What? I'm sorry. This is beyond me. Up until the beginning of the season, I didn't even know who the fuck the Sam Johnstone was.
Oh, that reminds me of something as well. Who the fuck is Morgan Gibbs White?
He's a hell of a player.
There
People know his name now.
Yeah,
See, I have a problem with Sam Johnstone because back in my youth, when I was a youth down in New Orleans doing comedy, there was an improviser, a comedian named Sam Johnstone, a chick named Sam Johnstone, and she was awesome. She was amazing. I wonder what she's up to these days. So every time it's like, and there's Sam Johnstone, I'm like, nah, she was good at improv. I'm not gonna have her as a keeper. I don't know. So I just can't do it. Yeah,
it's much better than Jay Johnstone.
I don't know who that is.
Isn't he there? I don't know. If you remember, but there was this comedian who got he got famous and became kind of a commercial staple. And his shtick was, you can call me Jay and you can call me Ray and da 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 da. I don't know. Maybe I dreamt it. Good Lord.
Yeah, I don't think. I think you're living in a Seinfeld episode right now, Mark. Yeah. Okay. Well, yeah. Well, that was fantastic. Leeds United chat for 40 minutes. Are we done here? You want to praise Firpo? Scooby D2 is mad that you praised Firpo because he didn't get up.
He got a smack in the mouth, didn't he? A hip from one of their players. It happens.
He got an arse to his face, basically.
So why is it his fault, though, that Melier let a ball between his legs? Ass to mouth, ball between the legs. This is a different conversation, fellas.
It's two different injuries. Ultimately, right, again, conspiracy hat. Good thing this is on, but and reverse Leeds conspiracy hat. I mean, it's a lot of double agent, triple agentry going on here. But ultimately, because Firpo stayed down for 3 minutes, we got 6 minutes of stoppage time. Now, where all this stoppage time comes from is actually a fucking mystery. But in all truth, we did do the tactics of like killing the clock, breaking up Sunderland's momentum, and it nearly worked. But it didn't.
All he had to do was catch it. All he had to do was catch it.
Exactly.
Yeah. If only we all knew it was that difficult.
I mean, but it just It was right there.
If only Bandy was still alive, he could make another song.
Yeah.
Oh, good Lord. I
He
can
would.
only imagine what
certainly
Bandy
would.
would say on
Catch
this.
kick a keeper.
Kick a
What?
keeper.
Oh, God
kick,
Lord.
kick a keeper.
Kick a keeper.
He did catch the ball a lot tonight, though, to be fair to him.
Yeah, he did.
Can
He
that be
did.
played, or is it going to ban us or something?
Oh, no.
Probably not.
You absolutely. Anytime you've played that and I've seen that Joe Gelhart goal, I've sat there thinking they're going to get an email. They're going to get an email.
Yep.
I
It
don't
just
even
means
have
I got to
that
wake
video.
up in the morning and clip it out, and yeah. But we can play it. That's fine.
Yeah,
John
what do you-
Lofgarside, thank you
I
so
don't
much
have
for being a
it
member
here.
for 7 months.
I don't have it, so you're going to have to load it.
We'll see.
John with his,
We'll
John
see
with his
about
Cuban.
All right, fellas. So thank you so much, John, for being a member for 7 months. That is absolutely fantastic, man. Thank you so much for that. All right, fellas. We can continue talking about Leeds United all throughout the evening as you guys like, but I think you all seem to be done with it. So I'm going to move on. David's like writing an essay or ordering some tacos. I'm not sure. One or the other and nothing else.
Maybe his essay is about ordering tacos.
Maybe he's going, hey, essay, bring me some tacos. Orale,
I just wanted to
Orale.
check on something. I just wanted to check on something because I never like to be wrong. As I say to my wife,
you are so
I
many
might
times.
not. As I say to my wife, I may not always be right, but I'm never wrong.
41 months.
Furpo has been credited with both goals.
Yeah, he has.
Yeah,
Own goal.
own
Unfortunate.
goal.
Yeah, that's the
Hey-ho.
real tragedy of the night, is that he will
41
forever
months.
carry the stink of that because officially he scored an own goal.
Yeah, it is one of those
Right.
things. Hey-ho.
Anders as well, 41 months. Good God. Today is like a
No wonder why I was
Memorial Day.
sleeping. We've been doing this a long time.
41 months. Ben, Arizona, good to see you as well. Tough one today. Poor guy had to watch that on his lunch break, I'm sure, way out there.
If we win the next 30 matches, I'm sure it'll be forgotten.
Yeah. Well, David, speaking of way out there for a Leeds fan, David, tell us what it was like. You were in San Francisco, right? And you hung out with the
Well,
San Francisco Leeds.
Yeah,
What was that like?
Yeah, it's good. It was really good. What was funny was that I had a couple of passengers on my flight over, and the good lady wife of this couple was a Leeds fan. So I got chatting to them, and I said, yeah. Well, I'll go to the bar, blah blah blah. There's a bar where the Leeds Whites go, etc. And I'll meet up there and watch the game early morning, etc., etc. And when I got to the bar the following morning, they were there waiting for me.
Nice.
So it was good. It was a good little crack. What's the name of the guy there? Oh, Chris, I think. Chris Padden is the main guy that runs it. So big up to Chris. Nice guy. Made us welcome and everything. Good turnout, as you saw from the photo. What was funny was the Chelsea fans that came in. All 4 or 5 of them. And they got relegated to the back bar. And one of them
Chelsea
said,
are fans.
yeah, apparently so. And one of them said, is this like a special game for Leeds or something? To which the reply was, no, this is just a normal turnout for a side that doesn't matter anymore. Unlike yourself. Off you go.
Oh,
I would have loved if he'd just come up and go, what's this like a special game for you guys? And you all just turn around and go, when I was just a boy, I asked my mom, what should I be? And just sing the whole song at his face because he's never heard it. And he would try to get you kicked out for offending him. Well, that's awesome, man. And I saw a picture of you online on Twitter, the Bay Area Whites, as they call themselves, I believe. I got to speak actually to, speaking of 49ers over here, Bremer's Ghost, I actually had a chance to sit down with Gideon Yu, who is co-owner of the San Francisco 49ers and inherently the co-owner of Leeds United as well, which I got to say he was less knowledgeable about when I was like, oh yeah, man, I'm a big football fan, so I know all about you. And he goes, oh yeah, don't blame me. I know we're in New York 49ers. And I said, what? Who are the 49ers? And he went, whoa, what are you talking about? I was like, Leeds United, man. Come on, Leeds United. I'm talking about Leeds United. And my buddy Mike Wood, who is from Leeds, he works with me. I work with him. I've worked with him for like 15 years or so. Good buddy of mine, Leeds United fan. We just immediately start telling him story after story about like Leeds fans we know and what it means to be Leeds United. And he legit was interested and was listening to us and was like, that's amazing. That's amazing. I've never heard that kind of story before. And then when I told him, I've been told Leeds United you don't choose Leeds United chooses you. He was like, that's great. Can I use that? And I was like, that's not mine. I'm an Arsenal
not copyrighted.
fan.
You should have told him the copyright.
I was like, I don't know who said that. So all I'm saying is if this dude gets a little bit of interest in Leeds United in the next few weeks, and he starts popping up on things and money starts moving around, you can thank your boy Lolo and Mr. Mike Wood. I'm just saying.
If it doesn't, Lolo, there'll be questions asked.
And if we get dropped to League One,
yeah, then it's the same exact thing. Then it's the same thing that's
if
been
Leeds
happening.
magically build a 53,000 seater stadium in the next year or so,
it's all down to Lolo.
It's not really going to be in a year, obviously.
Yeah.
That's mad. But obviously, let's just for the purpose of this joke, let's just say if that did happen, Lolo could turn around and go, I told him to build a new stadium or expand the stadium.
No, I didn't. I said, why the hell did you get rid of the American coach, man? He was fantastic. And he's like, wait, what? We fired the American coach? And I was like, yeah, man, he was winning everything for you guys. You just fired him out of pure race.
And the next thing
yeah,
you know,
he's a him, her. He's a him, her. And they were like, nah. And he was like, well, we can't have that. So hopefully you guys get Jesse Marsh back.
Yeah.
No?
Yeah, as I say, there will be a hit if that happens.
Hey, there it is.
There it is.
I can't wait till it starts to go wrong for Canada.
And it will.
Oh, well, of course it will, because it's Canada. Sorry, that didn't come out how I meant it. Actually, it kind of did.
What I was going to say, Tom. That's what I was going to say.
Shut your fucking face, Uncle Fucker. It's the best Canadian song in the world. Besides My Heart Will Go On. It's technically a Canadian song about the Titanic.
It's a great movie, that. I've got
Never
issues
seen
with
it.
Which one? The South Park movie?
What happens in it?
In Titanic.
What happens?
This is my issue with it, is that they did all this like love story and all this like, oh, I hope you don't draw all your French girls like that or whatever the line is. And then all of a sudden, I'm sitting there going, I know how this fucking ends. Bring on the water. And you got to sit there for like an hour and a half before it hits the fucking iceberg. It's just.
Yeah, and after that, it's like 15 minutes. 15 minutes of water, and you're like, no.
Just die. Just die, would you?
Just fucking die. And like,
could he took 3 or 4 days to drown?
And wasn't she on like a door or something?
Yeah,
like,
and they've tried saying that he could not fit on that door. But I think Kate Winslet should actually be really offended, because if you're saying that if you're saying that Leonardo DiCaprio could not get on that door, how fat are you claiming that Kate Winslet actually is? Because
I would have kicked her ass off of it.
I actually think it's because Kate Winslet was just too old for him.
He's like, she's like, by the way, I'm 25. And he was like, my heart will go on, baby. I'm out.
Let's be fair,
I'm
John.
out.
Let's be fair, John Garside. Kate Winslet in 1998 was a very solid citizen. Very solid citizen.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely.
agree.
Very
Absolutely.
solid citizen. Okay.
That's not one I'm ever going to be ashamed of going, oh yeah, totally. Oh, I didn't watch that movie. I mean, it kind of put me in the seat, let's just say. Because
There's when that film came out in the office that I was working in, one of the girls in the office, she said, "What's the film about?" To which I looked at her and went, "Boat sails, hits iceberg, sinks." That's it. Yeah. Hey,
That
ho.
is exactly what
it.
it's about.
That's it.
why was why were the violinists still playing as the shit was going down?
Because they
Cool
were
and the gang would have been unplugging their shit. As that
Cool in the gang.
Cool and the
Oh,
gang
man,
would
I'd
have
love to
been
see Kool and the
unplugging their
Gang.
shit immediately. I don't. It was such a white person thing. That's all I'm gonna say. To keep playing as the shit was going down.
Well,
I think
mean, look, if you're a
people were
violinist,
different back then.
yeah, and like everybody's gonna die. It's like, you know what? I might as well play this.
I'll
Play
do at
this
least
thing.
entertain the rest of the shit before we crash violently.
At
into
that
the
point,
water.
I'd be playing it for myself, though. Like, I'm not playing it for you. I'm playing it to go like, fuck, I'm gonna die. I can go, oh my god, and like fucking, or I can just like, my heart will go on.
If you had an oboe or a double bass, you'd be throwing it in the water and just floating on it. Unfortunately, a violin, you're not going to float.
There was no cello playing because that dude was rowing that shit. That dude was rowing his cello. He's like, I'm going back to fucking
waving to the violinist.
Yeah.
I heard that Leonardo DiCaprio's character, I believe it was called Jack, tried to get on many different instruments to actually try to survive this incident, but Kate Winslet kept knocking him off of him, going, "No, I need that, Jack. No, I need to sit on that violin. No, Jack, I need to sit on that door."
But Jack, I plan on telling this story when I'm older. You must die.
It's been 84 years. As the meme says.
It's been 84 years. That's what they just needed at the end of the movie was like, but Grandma, I don't know where the diamond is. Stop asking me. But Grandma.
I heard that it was the last time Tottenham won anything. It was during the events of the Titanic. That's not factually true, but let's pretend it is.
It was.
I know it's not true. It probably works better with Newcastle, to be fair.
Probably.
But, but still. Oh, I heard a new record.
Oh, my God, Jimmy, what are you even fucking on about?
Who's LDC? Oh, no, I'll get that. No, I'll get that because we're talking about Titanic.
It's Dominic Calvert-Lewin. It's Dominic Calvert-Lewin's cousin.
It's Lewin Dominic Calvin.
Lewin Dominic Calvert. Weird guy. Yeah. Okay. Well, fellas, I think this is actually a great point to take our halftime break. I know we're not quite at the hour mark, but we've kind of gone from Leeds United into Titanic somehow. So,
and the show is sinking just like the film.
Yeah. Of course, Nick Fodley knows how to get us back on track here, by giving me compliments. So that's the way to get us back on track.
You should actually just do Sean Connery. Sean Connery one's the best one.
The Sean Connery is the best.
Don't do an impression until he hits the like button.
Yeah. Dude, you gotta hit the like button. You gotta hit the like. Anyway, we're gonna take a quick break. And John, I know we did not discuss which one of these we're gonna do, but maybe we just do if it's not Leeds, fuck them, because it's a Leeds night. All right. So yeah, why not that? We'll be right back, guys. We're going to take a quick little halftime break to use the facilities and all that. And then we'll be back with Betting in the Dark with Mr. Tom. And we'll get into all of our Week 7 Premier League predictions coming up. Mark, don't take a nap. We'll be right back, Mark. Don't fucking do it, Mark. Don't fucking do it.
Here's a question: when you guys were in the desert that was the championship for 16 years, did you watch any Premier League games?
No. I didn't watch any of them. Fuck them. I didn't watch a single minute of a Premiership match. Swear to God. I didn't give a shit.
I must admit, I used
or
to.
anything like that.
No, I still don't watch. I don't watch anything but Leeds, mate. Nothing but Leeds. That's it. And that's all I care about.
I must
I
admit,
don't
I'm with
give
James
a
this season.
fuck
This season,
about
I've
any
struggled
other
to
club.
watch other games.
Bielsa watches everybody. You should too.
No, and what I really hate is like people like talk, oh, that was a great match, man. That was a great match. And it wasn't even involving your club. I mean, no one cares. No, I don't care about that, man. No one care. I don't care about anything that doesn't involve Leeds.
All right. So in the last 15 years,
I fucking love you, James.
I love Leeds. I love
how many
Leeds.
times have you watched?
I love Leeds. Full stop.
So the
Full
last
stop, mate. I
So
love
you-
Leeds. I
you just
don't give a
dissed
fuck
Lionel
about
Messi
anybody
for
else.
15 years. Like, is that what you're saying? Like, you
What?
didn't? Did you watch Lionel Messi or Ronaldo or anyone?
No.
Oh, nobody watches
No, don't care. I don't care. I only care about Leeds.
That's fucking insane.
I don't know. I don't even know who those people are. Who are they?
How do you know how?
Lionel Richie and someone? I can't remember. What did you say?
James.
I'm in a bubble, mate. I'm in a bubble. It's called the Leeds bubble. I'm there. I'm here to stay. I signed up for this 40 years ago, and I'm not leaving. It's the 40 years.
I wanted to ask you, James.
It's Leeds bubble. I don't watch. I don't give a fuck about any other team in the Premiership. I really don't.
Well, in
I
that
don't
case,
give a
in that
flying fuck.
case,
You on the
today's
stream.
one.
I hate
Today's
them all.
one
I hate
for
them
Wolves
all.
because we scored
There's
it.
varying degrees of hatred.
Right. But
It's
seriously,
gonna make me hate you.
see, James, that's the thing is you think that like bothers James at all? James expects he expects that you hate Leeds. He comes.
I want you to hate Leeds.
Exactly.
I want you to hate us. You
Well,
know,
same.
After
I
this
don't
season,
want you to like us, any of you.
beat you.
No. Look, I love your hatred, man. I feed off of it. I feed off your hatred like any Leeds fan does. We don't give a fuck. You hate us and we don't give a fuck.
Ah, yes, good times. Good times. I think the sound I hear is Lolo coming back from the restroom.
Was it that, or was it an elephant on the savannah?
It's the door. It's the door. All right. Well, James giving us some love for Leeds United, even in these hard times. But I think we are ready for some betting in the dark with Mr. Tom. What do you think about that? Let's do it. I'm going to go get a beer.
Betting in the dark with Mr. Tom.
Come on, love, place your bets.
Take it away, Mr. Tom.
Hello. I believe this is the edition of Betting in the Dark with Mr. Tom, which is dedicated to the start of the NHL 2024-2025 season, as depicted by myself in the Detroit Red Wings garb. I believe those jerseys are quite expensive, are they not? But they tend to not change them every year, so that probably makes sense. If you would not mind, Director John, I'll also watch the Red.
Next.
New York Rangers against Pittsburgh. Is that Penguins? Forget that.
Next.
I've gone for Arsenal versus Southampton. Let's have a look at no. Because you know I like to root out a bit of an upset, and I think I might be onto one here. Well, yeah, that's exactly what happened. I basically turned around and went, if Melier catches this ball, I will not wear red in the segment that John's already edited. But then what happened. So I had to wear red. Yeah, basically, I got a feeling that Southampton's going to win their first Premier League game this season, and Ben Brereton Diaz is going to get his first win as a Premier League player. I believe he's approaching the 20th game nearly. It might actually be 15, where he's lost for various other sides as well. Generally speaking, he sucks. But apparently in the Championship, he was like Ronaldo. I didn't see it myself, but, anyway, Southampton are going to win. Lolo, do you agree with this assessment?
Well, all I know is that if Kai Havertz scores in this game, that puts him, I believe, over Thierry Henry for the most home matches in a row, scoring in the most home matches in a row, which would be like 7.
I'll say you don't want him to score more than.
Yeah. I don't know if I'm ready to give Kai Havertz anything over Thierry Henry right now.
Thierry Henry's not the greatest Premier League player ever, though. So that was just.
Firpo is back in the Championship, so
does that scoring? Does Kai Havertz achieve
I would
Arsenal legendary status?
I would argue that Firpo's performance.
He would be in the record books forever, man. He'd be in the record books forever. You can't deny that, no matter what happens. It's one of those things.
Well, I was told to pick something crazy. As I always justify every week, I was told to pick something really wild and crazy. I was not told to pick something that Lolo would like. So I put my hands together in that situation and got what we got. I have that nightmare as well because Thierry Henry only has to get out of bed and he has 2 goals against Leeds, generally speaking. Although he's not actually beat us that much, despite what our people try and frame it. Because there was a lot of Leeds versus Arsenal games in the early 2000s where we actually gave you a bit of a hiding. But anyway, sorry, we're all friends here. We don't want to get a bit salty like that. Anyway, Director John, if you would not mind putting us on the second one, please. Here we go. Something else that I deep down don't want to happen. I thought if anyone's going to get Sean Dyche out of trouble, it's going to be his Burnley boys. Because why is there no chance that Southampton are going to win, Mr. or Mrs. Void? Explain yourself without common sense, of course, because that would very much
without common sense.
Because that would quite easily explain it. But yeah, again, we're chasing the almighty dollar. I mean, yeah, that's true. That's a fair point. But crazier things have happened. I literally watched my own goalkeeper drop the ball when unchallenged with 4 seconds left on the clock. I'm exaggerating. I don't know how much.
No, you're not exaggerating at all. That is exactly what
you were overtime. Actually, it was like the 97th minute with only 6 minutes of stoppage. So
yeah.
And I can only justify with because I'm not a referee justifier, but I'm like, if you spend half of the making substitutions, they're probably going to tack a bit on. I'm not saying you shouldn't do that for that reason, but that is what will invariably happen because of that. Anyway, they will be clowned if they lose. Yeah, it's probably true. Hello, Lawrence Watkins. How you doing? What do you actually think the score's going to be, Void?
Isn't that a question for the second half of the second half of our show?
Yeah, but Void might fall into a Void, and we'll never know what they think.
Right.
So you never know. I think this has a fantastic chance of winning. Partly because I need a win in this, because my footballing weekend has quickly gone to shit. Anyway, Director John, if you would not mind the third and final one, please.
I don't mind this
Yeah.
one. It's just Tarkowski's scoring first, but I don't mind that one. I'll place that bet, Tom.
To justify that, all I would say is it's not really out of the realm of possibility that Everton will score for set piece. And he goes up for every single one that they get. Anyway, obviously rooted to score first, based partly on him scoring first last week, which they then went on to lose. But also, everyone's going for Spurs in this. And I'm like, Brighton are not that shit. I mean, don't get me wrong. I don't think they're going to get top 4 this year or anything like that. But at the same time, again, going for the cash.
Their defence is awful at the moment, isn't it, Brighton?
Yeah.
They just don't. They're playing with a real high line, and they're as slow as fuck at the back. So I don't understand why they're doing that. But
I've got a feeling
it's
that this match is
entertaining.
actually going to play out with 2 high lines. So basically, you're going to get the Brighton high line and the Spurs high line, and basically all the other players are going to be sandwiched within about 12 yards in the middle of the pitch.
That's using your noggin.
Johnson's playing well at the moment.
He scored he scored the last 5 games, has he not?
Yeah. He scored 1 or 2 midweek as well, didn't he? What's the guy at the back? Van der Ven?
He's the fastest player in the Premier League.
He is.
Oh my goodness!
Oh, he's so good, isn't he? Yeah.
I may have read this wrong, but he's basically like as fast as Usain Bolt, comparatively. Like not as like milliseconds between them.
I would almost agree with that. It's just one of those things where it's like Van de Ven couldn't keep that up for
the
entire.
Of course he couldn't.
But
then by the same token,
good did he put the afterburners on in that game?
Yeah, you put a ball at Usain Bolt's feet, and he's not running that fast either.
Well, the only way, I mean, I get what Mark is saying, but in my mind, I'm thinking, well, yeah, but he only has to do it for 9 seconds. He only has to match the speed for 9 seconds. I don't know whether he can or will, but you know what I mean. But yeah, no, you're right. He's incredibly quick. I personally, I don't know whether. Oh yeah, he can run for 9. Usain Bolt got injured, didn't he, when he played for Manchester United in that friendly or whatever it was?
Don't know. I don't watch shit like that.
No.
Yeah,
well, I just like they played him one of their pre-season friendlies, and obviously it turned out because people were like, oh, he's so fast. Imagine if he's even half decent at football. It turned out he wasn't half decent. He was quarter decent, and I'm being really fucking generous to him when I say that. Subbed around.
If he was half decent at football and he was quick, it'd be called Adama Traore.
Yeah. If he was half decent at football and he's quick, he'd be a footballer. Because there's presumably there's more money in being a professional footballer than Olympic gold medalist, I suspect.
Probably.
I don't know, but anyway, John, what are we gonna make a thing of this? Like, see the Magic 3, yeah, all of them to win, 184. Lolo, I think it's really good. It's a really good deal. It's a great deal.
It is.
It's like
it
you're
is.
talking chips. 2 for 1. It's a really great deal.
If I was in a casino, I'd put it all on this. I'd be like, I mean, I'll probably end up with no money, but still.
Wait a minute. You have money?
Not after the picks that I've made for the last few weeks. I was just glad that I didn't have to pick Ipswich for once. But they will win this weekend.
Who did they play?
I think they play West Ham.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be a good game, that one. And interesting.
That's going to be really competitive because obviously it's 2 teams that feel like they should be able to beat the other based on their form. So it plays that it's going to be really aggressive. It's going to be really quick, and there's going to be a lot. It's going to get very testy when one of the teams that is desperate to get a result is feeling like it might not get the result.
Who are Wolves playing, Mark?
We go to Brentford.
Sorry?
It's
So you
gonna be a
give up a
tough
goal
one.
in the first minute.
No,
like
no. I
Brentford
think
do.
what it is that we'll be leading for about 70 minutes, and then our boys will get tired, and the substitutions will be so terrible that Brentford will score like 3 goals in 5
Brentford
minutes.
scores like in the first minute. 3 out of the 5 games they've played, 3 out of the 6 games
3
they've
in a
played,
row.
they've scored in the first minute.
Yeah, but if they don't win the coin toss, then their streak is fucked. But
Well, then
I
they'll
said
get
to
it in the
someone,
second
They
half.
went, they didn't necessarily win the coin toss. I'm like, what, do you think the other team won the coin toss, then kicked off, and then gave Brentford the ball in the first minute? They didn't. They won the coin toss 3 times. But still, Lawrence Watkins telling me to bite my tongue. I didn't realise there were hammers in it. If I'd known that, I'd have been far more generous to you. Ipswich are going to win this 4-1.
So there you go, Lawrence. Just what you
I
paid
didn't know
for.
I didn't know you were here, Lawrence. Otherwise, I would have made that even more crystal clear, just to see the look on your face. I mean, I'm having a vision. Calvin
Well-
Phillips is going to have the game
Calvin
of his
Phillips.
life on the bench.
Probably. Get a hat trick.
Because he's due. He's
Down
just
for that
due.
player.
He's due a game, let alone do a great game.
Right.
But
I wonder if Calvin will be giving the finger to the West Ham fans again.
I wonder if they'll take it because it's West Ham. They take everyone's money. Sorry, what?
Well, yeah, John.
Lolo, I just got a phone call from one of our old sponsors. I don't know if you want to.
Can I guess who it is?
Yeah. Let's see what they said. They're paying the money.
Say.
We now have an on the stoop mystery sponsor.
I have one that I
Let's see
hope
who it
pays.
is. Hold on, Lolo. It gets weird from here. A long time ago, during a season far, far away, a young footballer was repeatedly kicked in the legs during the course of the season. Inspired by his favorite movie, New Protection was born. Presenting the new and improved Lingard Shin Guard. Be the unstoppable force on your club. Available at your favorite sporting goods stores, the Lingard Shin Guard. Oh, that poor bastard. I don't even know. I don't even know
where
what
he's
he's
playing.
playing.
Is he
Since then,
actually selling shin guards right now? Because he's like been just like,
Not selling anything. He's over in South Korea, isn't he?
Is he?
Could be wrong.
Is he?
I think so. I think he plays for FC Seoul. Seoul? I don't know how to pronounce it.
I
So-
can't tell you the last time I thought of old Jesse Shingard.
He was very good for them.
man.
Ironically,
He was good for
lesser
them.
known, he was very good for them. He's actually big part of the reason they're in the situation they are now. And I'll say that like with no jest for the fact they're not doing that well compared to previous. But why they in European competition for that 3-year stretch, to be fair to them. But did you know he's the only player to have ever not scored a penalty past Ilya Melier?
Oh God, that's not good, is it?
Melier has saved 1 penalty out of 20, and it was Jesse Lingard. But because it's Melier, Lingard obviously scored the rebound.
Right.
It was ironic. It was Monday Night Football when West Ham. I think it was 2-0. Leeds had 2 goals disallowed, and then West Ham got a penalty, and he was like, "All right, let's just pack up and go home."
I can't remember that game. I feel that in my PTSD, I must have just blanked it out of my memory.
Don't blame you. I remember the weird.
It's easier
stuff.
to deal with things that way.
Yeah.
I remember it being a penalty that was so bad that I thought they should actually change the rules of football, because I actually feel like because his penalty was so bad, it hit Melier's legs and came straight back out to him. I'm like, you shouldn't get a second crack at this because your penalty was so shit. The rules of football should not allow you to have a second go because you've already got the advantage because you're the only one fucking stood there for like 4 seconds. I mean, they didn't take my advice and change the rules of football, but I still think they should.
Would you want them to go to the MLS style, the old school MLS style, where they would run up from like the halfway line,
30 yards, wasn't it? 30 yards out.
30
They had to run
30
it, yeah.
yards out, and you run it up?
That rule is actually a real thing, as in, like, if you hit the post and it comes back out to you, you're not allowed to score. But it should also apply to if the goalkeeper makes a save.
I actually agree with that.
Well, because you can't touch it twice in a row.
That's what
Yeah.
I
You can't pass the ball to yourself. So that's where that rule comes from. So if the defender touches it, then you can touch it. But
Ironically, right, and I know this is going to sound mental, but I actually do believe if you actually possess the skill to make the ball hit the post and come straight back out to you on the penalty spot, you should be allowed to put that ball straight in.
Yeah. And the
Because
goalkeeper
that's
has to move out the way as well.
That's actually really fucking impressive.
That would be impressive.
But, you know, but I think the actual what Lingard did with Melier was shit. Like, you got a goal, but you fucking missed a penalty. It comes back out to you, and you had an open goal to score in. I don't think that's as impressive as making the ball hit the post in such a way that it lands at your fucking feet.
yeah, the only people that get punished are fantasy owners of that guy, because you get like a -5 or something if you miss a penalty, and then a +4 if you make a goal. So you actually still are like minus points.
You're better off him not taking a penalty in the first place.
Yeah.
I don't think the lawmakers of the game are going to be breaking down your door to steal that idea, Tom.
I know.
Mark,
Just
like your cross pitch 4-team Chinese checkers style a football match. I think we've got it somewhere in the archives.
Oh wow, yeah, where 4 teams go at each other with 2 pitches like that.
Right.
Oh my god! Oh what did I actually call it? But it was fucking chaos, if I remember rightly. It was like when you had 4 teams playing against each other simultaneously. It was like a snooker table, or pool table for benefit of the American audience. And
they are different things.
You put 4. Yeah, it's true, but you put 4 goals in each quadrant, obviously. And sorry, that was a bit posh of me. Quadrant. I meant to say the sides or whatever. Far too much Pepsi. But no, this game is wild, and there can only be one winner. You end up with 3 losers. I mean, I really want that, because if Leeds are going to lose at this, I think there should be 2 other losers. Ultimately.
Yeah. Well, Mark, I want to give you a chance to talk about your Wolves, because that's what all the people watching right now want to hear about. But Mark, seriously,
complaint is when Mark doesn't get talked about Wolves.
Please,
is the lack of Wolves. But seriously, a lot of people have been talking shit about Wolves because you're bottom of the table, only 1 point out of 6 matches, and a lot of people are talking about relegation, all this and that, and then
sure.
For me, you got to look at the schedule. You open at Arsenal, right? You guys came to the Emirates, right? You open at Arsenal. You've already played Arsenal. We played
Arsenal, Chelsea, Nottingham Forest, and Newcastle, and walked away with 1 point. How many points, if you were looking at that run just as a neutral, how many points you think?
1 point.
Yeah, 1, 3, 1, whatever.
Exactly how many? Or 3 at most, because I would expect you to beat Nottingham Forest, but that's a tough match.
I think
you played them away. I think you played them away.
What is it? Community Stadium? Is that their stadium? Community Stadium? I don't know.
It's called Robin Hood's Forest.
Yes, they played it.
Loxley Castle.
Castle. Something. Castle Rock. I have no idea. But then we follow that with Aston Villa and Liverpool.
Aston Villa and Liverpool. That's
And-
where I'm like,
and-
how many
and-
points
and-
do people expect you to get? I'm gonna stop
Exactly.
talking and let you go.
How many points?
You talk for a bit. I'm listening.
If you looked at that run, I'm listening. If you looked at that run, how many points would you expect the Wolves to get? And this is what kills me right now, is that I read so much online and in the social media. It's like, oh, fire Gary O'Neill and the Wolves are terrible. If those are the teams that we're gonna play every week, and we've played everyone in like the top 6. Even Nottingham Forest, aren't they like 6th or 7th right now? They're I mean, certainly I would say a pretender rather than a contender. And I think when it comes down to it, yeah. So so top 10 teams we have played. Just as by next week, we draw the very beatable Manchester City. It's just it's unfortunate. It just seems. And I don't even want to say that that the league is out to get us, and the league is out to have us go down. But man, I tell you, I would love to see a break go our way, and it certainly wasn't in the scheduling gods. I think there should be some sort of law. No middle bottom team should have to go through such a terrible run. I mean, it's like it's like blood in, blood out. You're in the gang, and now you're trying to work your way out. I do think that once we start playing the teams that are down the table, I think we'll have a better opportunity. And I'll wrap this up here for you.
No, it's 1 a.m.
Really, what I think our problem is we have a terrible lack of depth. When we get into the substitution, the quality falls off. I mean, let's really look at it. In the Chelsea game, we went toe to toe with them in the first half. What an exciting start! We ended up losing 6. I think we had a Semedo injury or Semedo substitution, and it just all fell to shit. When we played Newcastle, we scored first and held that lead until about the 70th minute. And this is a theme that goes on with Wolves that is kind of, this is what's kind of more worrisome to me, is that our starters can compete, but when it comes to the substitutions, we fall off so much that we end up losing these matches. When we get to the Newcastles and we get to the Southamptons and Ipswich and Everton, I think the points will come. I think we're a quality team. I don't think we're terrible. I mean, not nearly as bad as what I saw with Bruno Lage, or even with Lopetegui for that matter. Gary O'Neill knows that this is what he's going to get. He knew that the squad, or the squad would be thin. He knew that the ownership was going to sell Kilman because, to be honest, 45 million for Max Kilman, I would have taken that. I loved Max Kilman. I'm probably the only Wolves fan out there that liked Max Kilman. Everyone bitched about him, said he was a terrible defender. Well, look where we are now, sons. But it's the ownership that decides that they can sell players but not bring anybody in. This is run. Yeah, he is injured, and he's been injured since last season. Someone who I believe is reaching the Mark Noble years.
Yeah.
But I do believe the quality's there, and I think when it's all said and done, I don't think Wolves get dropped. A lot of people
No.
are talking about as far as Wolves Nation, talking that
I've got a question for you, Mark.
Brentford is the it's a must win. But I'm not panicking. Let's see what happens by Boxing Day. Let's see where we are by Boxing Day. Then I can really start.
The threshold is a lot lower this year. You're probably only going to need 8 or 10 wins to survive this year.
Yeah.
I'll be very surprised if a team gets relegated on 34 points. It's probably going to be about 30 points.
Yeah.
Because it used to be 40. That's gradually been whittled down. But the question I actually wanted to ask you is, because obviously he used to be your manager, why do you think it's not started off too hot for Lopetegui at West Ham?
Because if we remember, well, I don't even want to remember those. I think that I think that there's quality that has been lost, and I don't think they've spent well. It looked as if they were kind of winners of the summer window, but as Chelsea has shown us, flashing the cash doesn't exactly win you games. And I think that it's going to take some time. Lopetegui he's starting things in the back, and working his way forward. But I also think that I think the Hammers have had a bit of bad luck. That's what I think.
Well, Mark, I think it's fair to say these first 6 matches, when we're talking about teams like, oh, top of the table, oh, we're in top 4, oh, we're in the top 10, right now, the disparity of who has played who, like it doesn't, even looking at like Arsenal, City, Liverpool, if you're talking about like preseason, who are going to be title contenders, like that's what everybody's saying, those 3 teams, we've not played the same teams, and we've not played at home and away against the same teams. It's really hard to say. And for you guys, especially, the reason I wanted to emphasize a moment for you is for me to say, Mark, I think you have a better team than your 1 point shows, because you're absolutely right. You were in these matches, and I think you hit the nail on the head. You've been losing matches in the 70th minute. And why do you lose matches in the 70th minute? Well, because the other team brings on players that are almost as good as their starters.
Yeah.
If not better.
Yeah. I mean, you just
and
look
you don't have that. To that Chelsea game, for example, like it was some of the most fun football I watched in that first half. The second half was like, oh, okay, they've got 500 million pounds worth of players on the bench, and you guys have like 12, maybe.
Right. And they're all young kids. I mean, we're fielding some very, very young kids. And then also the one side of the ball that we're thinnest at is our back 4. We are thinnest in our back 4. Where are all our injuries happening? The back 4. We lost Mascara for the season. Dawson is out for a period of time. Santi Bueno, is the replacement for Mosquera, is now injured with a knee injury. It's a convolution of forces all kind of coming together, and it's leading to this, but yet we're still. Did
you say convolution of forces?
Yes, I think a confluence of forces.
Listen, if Tom needs to apologize for saying quadrant,
Convergent.
thinking that that's too big of a word for us, you should apologize for whatever the fuck you just said.
Words,
because we don't understand it.
Wouldn't it be convergence?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. But I was
the problem with conversions,
I was just loving it.
The problem with conversions is that you have to convert your internet rate.
Convergence. Fuck my
Sorry,
internet. I'm out of here.
I'm
out of here with this internet.
Words.
But Mark,
It's
you said
beautiful.
next week or this weekend you play City?
No, we get Brentford. We get Brentford at Brentford. Always a tough place to play, but I believe after that.
Well, I'm excited for that, Mark, because
we get City.
Because not dropping points against City isn't for everybody. And didn't you guys take 4 points from City last year? You beat them, and
I
then
know
you
we
drew?
beat them. I don't know what I don't remember what happened,
You
but I do
definitely beat
remember
them
that we
because of the
beat
Korean guy.
Yes, because of the
Korean
Korean guy, and
guy.
I absolutely love that clip when
that's a
when
reference to Pep. I'm not actually being
when
racist
Pep
to
is
one of the
when
Wolves
Pep
players.
is raining down compliments. Oh, they're a good team. They've got Cunha in the middle with Pedro Neto and the Korean
that
guy.
Korean guy.
And he's the one that scored, and we ended up beating them, I think 2-1. I'm not exactly sure. I think they got
So I'm excited for you guys to play City. I mean, to me, like anytime City's up against a big club, I'm like they play Liverpool, they play Chelsea, they play Man United. I'm like they're winning those matches. It's when they play Wolves, it's when they play Palace, it's when they play Brentford. You know, yeah, Brentford teams like that where I'm like, okay, here we go. Now we can make up some.
Year, didn't they? Brentford
I
beat
think
them
they beat them
twice.
twice.
Yeah.
They were.
I mean,
yeah.
Don't get me wrong. Man City didn't have 10. Brentford didn't have 10 men when they did do it. So we still have the best win against Manchester City, of course, because of the circumstances, the confluence of circumstances worked in our favour. It worked in my favour for this bit.
On that point, I'm going to say goodnight, guys, because I've got to get a plane to JFK tomorrow.
Safe travel, David.
I'll say
You're
goodnight.
going to be here in time for the Arsenal match?
No, I'll be flying during that time.
Nah, I'll be
the main game. The main football has already been played this weekend. And,
good night,
I might
Dave.
see some
good night, David.
Love
See you
having
later,
you,
guys.
Love having you, brother.
Good luck to
And
your teams this weekend. Cheers.
Yeah, just to let you know, you are wrong all the time.
I appreciate.
Tell your wife.
Everybody is wrong in your life, Lolo. I understand that. Cheers now.
My wife, except my wife. Yeah. All right. Well, let's get to these matches, guys. We're down to the last part of the show here. Let's get to these matches. Why don't we burn through some of these? So we got 7:30 in the morning for us over here. I think that's like 12:30 for y'all. Palace, Liverpool, Palace at home. Guys, early match. Tom, what do these early matches mean?
They mean don't bet on them.
They mean don't bet on them because weird shit happens, right?
To quote Mahatma Gandhi, never bet the early kickoff.
That is
he was
very
a terrible gambler.
I believe Mother Teresa said something very similar.
True, 100% true.
Yeah,
terrible gambler.
Mother Teresa said, "Let it ride."
No, she was a degenerate gambler. Mother Teresa.
She was.
Her
gambling
on
children.
Every
I'll take a dozen orphans.
Why'd you never see Mother Teresa in Vegas? It makes you think, doesn't it? The security.
She was in Reno.
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
But guys, what do we think about this? Palace is this little cheeky little team as well. They've got some stuff cooking. John, what is their record right now?
0-3-3.
No wins.
They have 3 points.
They have 3 points, but their schedule has been tough, hasn't it?
Historically, they've had
Wolves tough or just tough?
They've had important wins over Liverpool historically.
We'll check.
It's not a happy ground for Liverpool, and certainly not at 12:30 in the afternoon.
Yeah. So Palace had. Palace lost to Everton. That was embarrassing, but they drew against United at home. They drew against Leicester at home. They drew against Chelsea. And then they lost to West Ham and Brentford at home, which was tough. But those were to kick off the season. So I feel like they're doing better at home. Listen, I think I'm going to take a 1-1 draw here. I'm going to say at home 1-1.
That'd be a great
Yeah, I think
result
something cheeky,
for
something
them.
weird can happen here. I think you're right, Tom. Something weird.
I don't know about this. I think Arne Slot has Liverpool playing very, very well, and I think it's already kind of exceeded expectations. I don't think Palace scores at all. I think it's going to be 3-0 Liverpool, or a 0-3, 0-3 Liverpool.
I don't think you're taking into account the first match of the weekend, Mark. Like that's like a 10 a.m. Liverpool Palace. 7:30 a.m. weird shit happens, man. I don't know.
I just
got a little Matete goal.
Logically, you're right, Mark. Liverpool should absolutely wipe the floor with this Crystal Palace team. They should. But that doesn't necessarily mean that they will.
Yeah.
Because Liverpool played a Champions League match, and now they're playing in the early kickoff. They're already pissed off because they're upset at how much that actually happens to them. And
yeah,
I mean, don't get me wrong. I still think Liverpool should win this. Of course they should.
Well, and you know what's crazy right now? Like with Liverpool, they have Luis Diaz, Cody Gakpo, Diogo Jota, Darwin Nunez. Right now, like those four are entertaining 2 slots. So who starts, who comes off the bench, who starts, who comes off the bench. And right now, like the FPL world, the fantasy football world is following the Players League because the players are all in a league together as well. And last week, for example, Diogo Jota didn't start like the week before. He didn't start midweek. It was weird. And then they were saying Diogo Jota started himself last week for fantasy. Darwin Nunez started Diogo Jota on his fantasy team. So they're starting to look at things like this where like Cody Gakpo benched himself because he knew he wasn't going to start. Things like this where the Liverpool team right now has this fluctuation of having very similar to Chelsea, at least up front, is where we don't know who's going to start alongside Mo Salah right now. Who is it going to be up there? It has to be Diaz, you think, but a lot of people are saying Diaz benched himself this week in in fantasy. Now the teams aren't locked yet, but you know, things like that. Is Diaz going to start? Is Jota going to start? Are they thinking this is an easy win? Let's get Gakpo a start. Weird shit like that. That's the weird shit that happens against teams like Crystal Palace, Brentford. Almost happened to Arsenal last week against Leicester. Things like that where weird things can happen. I don't know what my original point was.
Funny you say that. Former Nottingham Forest captain Stuart Pearce, he played for England as well. He told a story. He's a manager now, I believe, or I think he's on TalkSport. But when he was manager of Manchester City, so how far back you go, he phoned up Sir Alex Ferguson because he was in a league on fantasy football. And he basically asked which of 2 players, I can't remember who it was, that Ferguson picked for his for the benefit of his, because he was in the final week or something like that. And I just thought, that's really sneaky. I wonder how many other players do that.
Insider trading. Like, it's fucking insider trading is what it is.
Yeah.
Like, they shouldn't be. But, like, you have your Friday night meeting, and it's like, okay, Diogo, you're going to start in the morning. I'm going to start you in the morning. They probably tell them who's going to start. Like, you don't show up the morning of.
Yeah. It's not like it is when you're in Sunday league football, where like you turn up and you find out when you actually get there whether you're playing or not.
It's like we'll see if drunk Mark shows up, and if he does, he's playing striker. But if he's late, you're playing. That sort of thing.
Getting named on Friday. I mean, not officially to us, but within the club, that's getting named the day before.
But this is why, like for you, Tom, you work in the betting world. Like these are not legal fucking things. Like you can't go place a bet on, like for us right now, if we want to pick first goal scorer of Liverpool Palace, yes, you can pick Salah. You know he's starting. You could pick Trent. You could pick Van Dijk. But if you pick Diogo Jota as first goal scorer, you don't know if he's starting. Yeah. But Jota's family could. His friends could. If they play in the league with him, he could.
I know for a fact that is what happens because there was a player called Jimmy Bullard, and what I'm about to say, it's not actually illegal. So I'm actually not really doing. There's actually nothing wrong with this. Basically, there's a player called Jimmy Bullard who used to play for Fulham, and basically his uncle would come into my shop and have like £5 on him to be the first goal scorer, but he was the free kick taker for, I believe at the time it was Hull, and he would win a few times, like a few quid, or Jimmy Bullard being first score, maybe 5-1, whatever. But yeah, like Lolo was saying, like you know he's going to play, you can do the bet.
Yeah, I mean,
it's not for an amount of money where I'm sitting there thinking this is really amoral. Like at best, it was winning 50 quid.
Yeah. But, all right, so I think we're all in agreement. Well, no, we're not all in agreement here. That I don't see Palace even getting a chance to win this game, but
I won't be surprised if Palace got something out of it because of the circumstances around the timing of the game and things like that. But man for man, they have no chance.
John Garside here, he's just rolling down. He's already doing our show for us. He's already down to City and Fulham.
Let's just remember Liverpool lost to Nottingham Forest, all right? And that was an early game.
Yeah, but that was that finish by what's his name?
Fucking crazy,
fantastic.
Right?
And they didn't lose though. That was a draw, wasn't it?
No, they lost. They lost to Forest because they are one of the teams who are not invincible right now. I'm still calling it this season. Arsenal and City will go invincible and Arsenal will lose the league. And we will be like, we're invincible, but we got second place. Oh,
are you gonna get a gold second place trophy?
We will get a gold second place shirt.
The quiz.
All right, let's go. Arsenal Southampton, guys. I am going to. I don't want to say what I'm gonna. What is it? I'm gonna cede my time. I'm going to. What is it?
Bide your time.
No, I'm gonna give you guys my time for that.
Yeah, you're going to cede your time.
He doesn't want to say anything that'll come back and bite him on the arse tomorrow, basically.
It just never does well for me.
I don't see Southampton coming into the Emirates and getting anything like a goal. 4-0. 4-0. Arsenal is just going to take out their frustrations in the same manner that they took their frustrations out on PG-13 on what day was that? Tuesday, Thursday, Wednesday. They kicked the S out of PSG and they just became PG-13.
Yeah,
wow. They just looked terrible, and that's a quality squad. And Arsenal just was like, no. It's good to see that Arsenal will play angry for a bit.
Yeah. Thank you, Mark. I appreciate that. By the way, John, LUFC, I just took a screenshot of all of these that you put there. I am going to put all of those in an accumulator and I will put like 2 cents down on it because it'll make me $1 million if all of those hit. But you know what? That's just the type
Are
of
you
weird
going?
shit
Are
that
you
would
going
happen.
with? Are you going with actual score, or are you just going
Correct
winner?
score. Correct
You should do the
score.
correct
Palace
score, but then
1-3.
you should put
Arsenal
127
3-0.
on each one.
No. I'm gonna accumulator, man. Let's do it, and I'm gonna do 2 cents because there's not much left in my account. 2 cents will probably get you like
Wow.
100 grand.
Will we get paid?
Oh boy, will we ever?
Yeah. I will definitely come over and give you your what for.
What's this for?
If
John
Lolo
just
wins
left.
that,
He just walked away and
he'll walk over to John Stoop.
John
and go,
just set his place on fire.
I've got
He is
something
gone.
for you, John. A handshake. Thank you very much, sir, for everything you do for us.
No, what I will say is I said
Can
this in front of all of you. You all could have done it.
Can I get that in writing?
No, that takes pre-production, John. Oh, and I didn't see there was another one, Brighton Spuds. Oh, you're just adding to my accumulator. All right, let's do it.
I like the various nicknames that he's got.
Well, yeah,
Big
John,
fan,
you're going to
big
check John Garside. You're going to check that out. Check out just the results, or Tom, while we're here as well, or anybody who has a better Wi-Fi connection than I do. Let's see what that would pay. Maybe just the results. Why not? The results. That'll be worth $1.27, as I like to
Give me a
bet.
second, because it'll take a minute, because I have to go in and out each game individually.
$1 will win you $689 on.
Oh,
this
you've already
bet.
done it. Oh, thank you.
Wait, just the results, though.
Just the results.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'll do the correct score. Bear with me.
Yeah,
And-
we're doing correct score here because I think, John, anytime somebody takes the time to actually write out that many comments on our channel, that's worth
Hey,
a
why
20-cent bet for me. 27 cents. Let's do it. I think that'll do. Yeah. All right. So Arsenal Southampton, what did you guys decide? Because we've spent 15 minutes and we've gotten
I said
through
Arsenal.
one and a half.
Arsenal is just going to destroy them. It's 4-0.
4. All right.
Yeah, I see you guys scoring 4 on this. Southampton concedes a lot. I think they've given up, like on average. I think they give up like 3 goals a game or something like that. It's kind of stupid.
Yeah. Wow.
It upsets me because they beat my team at Wembley, and it's like, how did we lose to this lot?
John Garside, the biggest issue for me here is that you have no draws.
Oh, that's not true.
Which
Leicester, Birmingham, and Wolves. He has his
for
draws.
the Wolves, yeah.
Who's
lots of draws.
Birmingham? Who's Birmingham? Birmingham.
Leicester, Bournemouth.
Oh, I was like, wait, is Tom Brady's team got up already? Oh, you do have 2 draws. All right. So my problem here, John, is that I don't read well. That's the only reason why I don't want to place your bet. Words are hard, especially when there's numbers in between. All right. And Tom, this is another week that I think maybe both teams to score. I mean, Palace and Arsenal right there is a tough one. And Fulham score. Well, City's been giving up a goal every game anyway. But how's Man United going to score against Villa?
Right,
That's a
sorry,
big question.
I'm still doing your.
All right, we're going to run down the table a little bit. Okay, Arsenal, Southampton. I told you I wasn't going to say anything, so I will not say anything except that the Arsenal will win. Brentford, Wolves. Guys,
I think it's a Desmond. Brentford
you
has
get your
not,
second point of the season.
I think we get at least a point here, but I'm not. I can't really say for certain because I don't know how the last 20 minutes of the match is going to run. But Brentford, despite playing at home, have not kept a clean sheet all season long, much like ourselves. That's what I think. I think that's what's happens. I think it's a Desmond here. Wolves score early. Brentford scores late.
Well, Mark, I picked up the Brentford keeper on my fantasy team, so I think that bodes well for you scoring goals because
Mark
that
Flecken
is
sucks. I'm sorry.
yeah,
He's
yeah.
awful.
Who?
Yeah,
Sorry?
Exactly.
but here's the thing: is most keepers are going to give up a goal and not keep a clean sheet. Most weeks they're not going to keep a clean sheet. Brentford gets a lot of shots at him. So the more shots he actually saves, he gets points. Like the Leicester keeper gave up 4 goals, but he had 13 shot stops. So he ended up with like more points than Flecken
right.
in fantasy. So Lauren says 2-1 for Brentford Wolves. Mark, I'm going to give this one to you. 2-1. They score right away. They score. They continue their streak. I'm going to say first 10 minutes they're going to score. And but you guys control the rest of the game. I'm going to give that to you, all right?
That'd be fantastic.
That's for you, Mark. All right? Don't ask for anything later when I hit that $1 million thing. All right, Leicester Bournemouth.
This kind of has a draw written all over it.
Yeah, doesn't it?
Yeah. If I was to pick which match would be a draw, it would be this one. It's kind of the immovable object versus the unstoppable force or something like that. I'm not really sure. The Leicester is damn slow, but they're kind of what, mid-table right now? Nope, they're right smack dab at the bottom.
But Leicester have played well. Leicester have played well. They've, that's a shitty result against Arsenal, and it was a shitty result against Tottenham.
Was Tottenham.
They played well against Arsenal. To be fair,
I was working, so I didn't get a chance to see the 2 screamers from Justin.
If you get the exact thing right, sorry to interrupt, but it's an 11-digit number basically. Like you definitely won't need to go to work on Monday if you get the correct.
They wouldn't even wait. That's if you put $1 down.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like they wouldn't even take that bet over here. You've got to. No. You can't win more than $1 million.
I thought it was you couldn't win more than 10 million.
To my understanding,
I don't know. Some of these bets that I put, I've had to put like 2 pennies down.
Right.
Because that's the only thing that would keep it under $1 million.
England will rip you off. I don't know if it works, if it's differently online, but basically we will take a parlay, as you call it, knowing it pays above the max payout. Because max payout generally, like in Premier League it's $1 million, but on La Liga it's probably like 100,000. It's something like that because it's foreign football. But to me, that's basically find out what it pays out, and then if it pays out like 700 million, then don't put £1 on it. Put 50p on it or whatever, because it's probably not going to win. But at the same time,
it's not. I mean, I hate to tell you, John, I have a ton of faith in you, but it's probably not going to win. But it's worth 2 cents. Like, matter of fact, these bets are better. Like, you can bet every day for 10 years on these. And if one of them hits, you're good. And you've lost like what, $48?
Yeah, exactly.
Like, over 20 years. So, yeah. I love it. I'm gonna do it in the morning if I wake up.
Whenever I wake
up. There's a sleepover happening upstairs, so I'm gonna try to stay down here as long as possible. Let's go Leicester. Okay, Leicester Bournemouth. We said draw written all over it. Yeah, I'm gonna go 1-1 on here.
What they'll argue with that, John, you are right. But legally, if it's on the poster of the rules that is displayed on the premises, because it's then up to you to look at it, they will win because you should find it out for yourself. But is basically what you will get told in that situation.
Yeah.
I'm
But
not
then
saying
they
it's
should
right,
pay.
but
They
legally
should
it's
pay
what
you
you
the
pay.
max payout. Then they're not going to
Yes.
pay you 10
Yes.
million, but they have to pay you 999,000.
Yep.
Yeah. Either
Yep.
way, you've made a 2-cent bet that fuck them. You know.
Like
Anyway,
I won't complain too much if I won like £1 million.
but you were supposed to win 10. You might be a little mad, but you'll probably get a lot of social media fame from it too. And then, you sell ads and yeah, you're Ronaldo all of a sudden. All right. Man City versus Arsenal Fulham. Man City versus Fulham. Reece Nelson, Emil Smith Rowe, Adama Traore. This is the Arsenal and Wolves B team. This is the Stoop crew B team going on right now. We got Adama Traore, Raul Jimenez, Emil Smith Rowe, Reece Nelson. Isn't who else do they have on that fucking team? From our clubs. I'm giving this to Fulham. Listen, who cares that they're playing at the Etihad? I was there and I easily got a ticket because they were available. It doesn't matter. It is not a fortress. That was during the game. That was during a free kick on the other side of the pitch. That's why you only see the keeper there. Nobody there. It's crazy.
That's just before Man City scored, isn't it?
If you notice,
No.
there's 2 nets there.
Shh. I like to play without a net. A net is my friend, but we don't play with her. All I'm saying is, let's go Fulham 2-1. 2-1 Fulham. Write it down.
I think the score is going to be higher than that, but this is my upset special of the week. Don't sleep on Fulham this season. They are quite formidable, and I think they walk away with. I think they rob. They're stealing the points. And I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go 3. I'm gonna go 3-2 Fulham.
3-2.
Yeah.
3 goals.
I think all the Arsenal fans, and when I say all the Arsenal fans, I mean the ones that I tend to know, who go, "Oh yeah, Smith Rowe, and Nelson or whatever, and they're going to do it for us." It's like, what, they're going to do it for the team that actually discarded them,
that got rid of them? No, they're not going to do it for us. They're going to do it because they're good football players.
You do it because their love for Arsenal and the Premier League title that they invariably will not win if they do win that football match.
Just saying, Tom. Fulham did like this photo shoot where they were all chilling in a pool, and Emil Smith Rowe was pretending to be Mexican by wearing all his clothes in the pool. And the only reason was because he has a fucking Arsenal tattoo on his chest. So, like, he's not going to be like, I just got here. We're doing a pool party. Here's me hanging out in the pool. Poor Traore can't get in every time he jumps.
It's an oil slick.
But it's because this Arsenal tattoo, they're
bad
not going to show it.
Because he'll contaminate it instantly.
He just doesn't even get in. He hits it and bounces off.
I don't think he oils up anymore. You know, I think Diddy bought all the baby oil, and so Traore's like, well, what am I supposed to do?
Johnson & Johnson are immediately blowing up Traore's phone, going, "We need you to make up the excess when Diddy goes to prison. We need you to pick up the slack, mate. Otherwise, we're all in trouble, and there'll be no oil for anyone."
Tell him that I've been your agent for 4 years. That's why I have this amount of baby oil.
I want to know what happened to the poor woman at Wolves.
See what we talk about.
What is this woman at Wolves doing now that she ain't got a Adama Traore to apply baby oil to during a match while he stands there and looks menacing while the commentators go, "Oh, Traore's getting ready to come on." It's like,
she works at the Aldi.
He's being oiled. He's looking like a wrestler, you know, ready to come into the ring, and he's splashing it on.
Poor thing is spraying cologne at Mark
It
and
always
Spencer's right
fascinated
now.
me. Like, what is she doing now? She ostensibly, because I'm sure she didn't follow him to Fulham. Because I'm sure it doesn't. Sure, transfers work like that. Like, if you're gonna buy me, you buy my oiler or whatever. Like, I'm sure that's not a real thing. But why couldn't he put on his own oil? Like, I know footballers are pampered, but you can't even stand there and oil yourself on the side of a grass pitch. Disgusting. Disgusting. Don't know where he's born.
All right, Tom, your favorite club in the world, West Ham versus Ipswich. Tell me how Ipswich is going to win this match.
Because they're going to actually win the Premier League. Because, admittedly, I may have been a bit naive to think they were going to win each of the first 6 matches. But they are going to win the following 32 matches.
32.
That's a lot of oil.
That's a lot of oil.
A lot of oil.
It's a lot of oil.
All right, I'm going to take West Ham 2-1.
I can actually see Ipswich winning this. Seriously, see them winning this.
Yeah, I don't.
Admittedly, 98% of why I can see it is because Lawrence is here. Admittedly, but
yeah. Although I don't think it matters, but no, because he's already served. No, was that a straight red? Alvarez, was that his name? They got the red card in the cup game.
Oh, Edson Alvarez, it doesn't count.
It doesn't count.
If it was in the Europa Conference League.
No, red cards in Europe only apply to Europe. But if you have a Premier League
this was
red
against
card,
Liverpool though in the Carabao
against
Cup.
Liverpool. Sorry.
Yeah, Carabao Cup is
Carabao Cup counts.
It counts.
Yeah.
Well, Lawrence is saying Alvarez is back. Edson Alvarez, Mexican dude.
But the question being is it a straight red or was it a double yellow? It was a double yellow, so it's only a 1-game suspension, and he already served it. So there you go.
Okay, so he's back.
West Ham wins.
Last week,
West Ham's going to go 2-0 on this.
I mean, ultimately, I don't care because I don't particularly like either. But I suppose having to pick a winner out of West Ham and Ipswich is like asking me to pick which guy I want to steal my wife. Because fuck them both.
Wait, she's gonna fuck them both. That's the problem, Tom.
That's a huge problem. Because I've seen how much money they've spent.
Don't
They've
fuck
spent
them
a lot of
both.
money. It's a huge problem. I should probably look at getting a new wife. Probably.
Yeah. Double. All right. Everton, Newcastle. I mean, I think Newcastle's on the up and up. They're figuring shit out right now. Everton will probably get 2 goals, as Tom likes to say. But I'm going to go, 2-0 Newcastle. Sorry.
I think that if there's... I don't know what to think about this Newcastle team. I mean, it's just, they're certainly bringing players off the bench, but no Isak. Players that used to start are no longer starting for them. That it just doesn't make sense. I actually see this as points for Everton. Everton at home is always notoriously tough. 1-0 Everton.
I think it's going to be 3-2 to Everton.
I don't think Everton can keep a clean sheet, Mark.
Come on, Pickford's good for one. It's good for at least one.
Pickford does not play center back.
No, it's also true. But I'm going 1-0 to Everton.
All right. Let's do it. That'll probably pay more than whatever John said. What did he say?
3-2 Everton. Was it 3-2 Everton, John? Or
I'd be hilarious, John.
what does John say? Oh, this John.
No, he said 1-3. 1-3.
I thought you said Tom for a second.
No, John. Sorry. Garside. All right. Villa United.
Pickford only plays well in April.
True.
I think Villa absolutely pummel Man United. I'm going 3-0. 3-0. Ollie Watkins and Duran for 2.
Yeah. Johan Duran coming off the bench and scoring for like what it is, like the 6th time in a row or something.
The 78th time in a row.
Villa 3-0 and Ten Hag is fired by midweek.
He
This
will
is
not
it.
get fired because, as
he
you
will
see, at the
not.
end of every season, I have a trophy. I win the trophies.
Yeah, it does not matter. He will not
Fucking
make it to Halloween, and I think that this is quite.
He
I think
will
he's
not
fired
make it
before
Halloween.
I don't think he makes Halloween. I really don't.
Oh, I mean, no. The only reason I'm surprised by that is not because I think you're wrong, but I didn't realise that we're only like 2, 3, 4 weeks away from that.
Yeah.
So he'd have to work really hard to actually avoid that.
I mean, it's literally the next. What is it? The next 3 games are without their captain.
Yeah.
You know, this is a team that was already in trouble, and they're going to continue to be in trouble. Oh, it did. That's right. I forgot about that.
And the other red card was in the Europa League.
Right.
Or Europa Conference.
Right. But it's like, you know, I mean,
So it
Villa.
doesn't count. I think Fernandez is back to get another red card in this match. And he'll do the first 3 in a row ever.
Yeah.
I can't stand Villa. I'm sick of Villa. They annoy me. Emery annoys me. But at the same time, I hope they win 46-0 against Manchester United. So I hate them even more.
Yeah.
Just
Let them get like 10.
Let Man United confuse them with like the New Orleans Saints or something.
All right, then we go to Chelsea, Nottingham Forest. Chelsea are on a bit of a tear. We were supposed to talk about them today, and we talked about Leeds, so I feel better about my life.
Cole Palmer 4, Nottingham Forest 0.
Cole Palmer 3, Nottingham Forest 1. I think there's a goal in there somewhere.
That's actually more realistic, yeah.
I think 3-1 is. I actually have a fear that Palmer's going to blank this week. He has a tendency to do that, to go and destroy, and then everybody picks him up in fantasy and captains him, and he gets nothing. Which, you know what? The more that Chelsea score 4 goals with 1 player, the worse of a team I think they are. So Chelsea fans applauding Cole Palmer for scoring 4, and then those are the only goals they scored.
Yeah.
And he got him in the first half. That's not something to be bragging about. To me, sorry. If you have one player scoring all of your fucking goals, no.
Brighton's terrible defensively, as we talked about earlier. So,
I
mean, someone's got to score. Someone's got to score them, and that kid's got a quick foot, and he puts the ball in great spots. He's a smart player.
Yeah,
and
I'm not talking about Cole Palmer. Cole Palmer is fantastic. I'm saying you cannot be saying that we are back and we're doing all this shit because we're scoring all these goals when it's really Cole Palmer scoring those goals, and some of them are coming out of nowhere, and none of your other billion-dollar players are scoring any of these goals. Where, listen, if he has a bad day, you can't win a game. You can't win a game. I mean, I'm sorry, I'm more Arteta than Holland.
Cole Palmer,
I would rather have a bunch of
he
15
needs help
goal
getting
players.
himself dressed in the morning.
I mean, and Kuka scores. He had a hat trick against Wolves. You know, other players score outside of Cole Palmer. It's just that's the hot hand right now, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
So I don't think it's unfair to say, had Cole Palmer not scored any of the goals he scored last year, and I know in theory that football theory works like someone else would have scored them, but ultimately, if he hadn't hit the form he was in last year, they would have been relegated.
Yeah, they were dancing pretty close.
Yeah, everything outside of Cole Palmer was not firing last year. Maybe Nicholas Jackson a little bit, but he still scored the worst hat trick I've ever seen in football. And I didn't think there was such a thing as a bad hat trick, but he should have scored 9 goals against that Tottenham team. But he only got 3. I mean, only, but you know what I mean. Best 65 million. Well, it looks good now. I mean, I don't think they've played enough to actually have a real feeling on what they're actually going to do at Premier League level. But
yeah, I mean, I think we could have a whole debate about Chelsea, and that's where I thought maybe we would go today. And then Leeds played. Was hoping for just a boring Leeds game, but
I love the.
But yeah, we're gonna have to talk about Chelsea soon. When they
hit the top. See. How long do you think it'll take them, realistically, to actually get to the top of the table? Admittedly, I don't know.
To get to the top of the table?
To the top of the table, probably about 6-7 years.
Lawrence, you paid us 25 times what we paid for him. How can you not argue that's a good deal? Allegedly, they triggered the release fee, which was about 25 million.
Yeah.
But we paid 1 million 4 years ago. I'm not happy it was triggered, but at the same time, we made 25 times the money. If you make 25 times the money you spent on every player in your squad, you'd be doing all right.
You'd be doing pretty damn well.
It's like placing that bet.
Placing that goddamn bet.
That's why John's the best in the business. He thinks of the things that I didn't think of before.
All right, guys, last one.
I got to think like that because, I'm still waiting to get paid for this nonsense.
Yeah. I'm a stupid fuck, see. So, yeah.
Let's go to Brighton Spurs, guys. I feel like they just played last week, but I guess that was Chelsea. This fucking game. Like 4-4. I guess Tottenham are playing a little bit better. 4-2, actually. You know what? Oh, sorry. I think I'm going 4-2.
Tottenham really should win this, but there's a lot of games that Tottenham should really win, but they don't. So
I'm going 4-2 the other way.
Same. And I'm giving the first goal to Brendan Johnson.
Giving the first goal to Cuti Romero because I got him on my fantasy team.
There you go.
Didn't Romero partner Archie Gray in the Europa League? Not Conference League.
I don't know.
These European competitions are really confusing because some of them play on a Tuesday, some play on a Thursday, but then the next week it's completely fucking different. Yeah.
The Champions League plays Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday.
Yeah.
And then Europa League is Thursdays and Fridays.
There's so many more games. There's so many more fucking games, and they don't matter as much, which is crazy. I think Sonny should be back.
Yeah, he just picked up a knock in in cup competition. He'll
I
be
still
back
think the
for
biggest
sure.
mistake Tottenham made is that season when they first did the Conference League and Tottenham were in it. I found it really strange that Tottenham didn't take it seriously, because you have, in theory, you had the best squad in the entire tournament, and you didn't take it seriously, and your club is known for not winning things. So basically, what did you have to show for it at the end of the UEFA Conference League? Tottenham were the first English team to be in it, but they didn't take it seriously. I believe one of their games got called off, and UEFA basically went, well, you weren't going to field a good side in it anyway, so you might as well just award the other team the match, or so. I'm forgetting the exact thing, but basically,
This was this season
won that tournament, and they'd have won something.
Yeah. Hey, there's Deb.
Is that Debbie Lewis?
Deborah, the Wolves.
Oh no,
Wolves fan.
They don't got to do anything. Tough schedule. Brentford at home is going to be tough. We'll be fine. We'll get some bottom feeders and we'll pick up some points.
Yeah. Well, guys, this has been a fun show. Thank you, Tom, for filling in for us early on. Tell us about the shows that you're going to be on. You're having a double whammy coming up?
Well, yeah, kind of. Do you like hearing people talk about two draws? Well, yeah. I mean, if you do, we're actually moving our show to tomorrow because Gary's in London, and it turns out that Gary, it turns out, I know he's probably going to see this. Gary's like, "Oh, can I do Sunday for a meal?" Because he wants to go to the buffet. And I promised if he came to England, I'd show him where the buffet was. That I always go.
You didn't show me where any fucking buffet was. You
don't look like
you just went out and got a kilo of chicken wings.
Well, it's kind of like a buffet of chicken wings, but
for you, not for me.
Well, you had this massive burger though, where you were like, "Oh,
it wasn't great."
They
I
did
wouldn't
forget,
like a buffet.
At
a buffet, I could take a bite of the burger, and if it's not good, I fucking throw it away. Go get some shrimp.
I do have shrimp.
That's not good. Throw it away. Go get a waffle.
But yeah,
I don't know how y'all do buffets.
Because I won't be available on Sunday, we moved it to Saturday. And it was very generous of them to actually allow this to be moved to Saturday, Ben and John, to be fair to them. Yeah, so we'll be talking about catching the ball.
All I had to do was change Sunday to Saturday on that graphic. That's the extent of my...
I wasn't referring to this at all. I just meant the fact that you were willing to do the show at all. What, nothing to do with a slide, sir.
Oh, I'm not going to be doing the show. You're going to be doing the show.
Well, yeah, that makes more sense. But yeah, we'll be doing the show tomorrow, which is unusual because we usually do it on Saturday, Sunday. So anyway, but I don't know. We'll do the show, and if people are there to watch it, then great. And if you're not, then
I just want to leave the graphic up for as long as possible.
Well, yeah, I'm filibustering here, of course. Because,
of course.
Yeah, it's great. Of course. So John, what's your favourite letter of the alphabet? Rank them from 1 to 26.
Q.
Well, there's A, and then there's B.
My least favourite is X.
D is
then
good.
Usually comes D.
E is very useful.
Well, guys, this has been a lot of fun, but I'm done for the evening. So I will see you guys next week. Thank you all so much for joining us. I hope all of your teams win. And yeah, good night from everybody here in Brooklyn. Love you guys. Thank you. Thank you, John, as well. Peace out.